Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to this evening's presentation. This presentation is mainly designed for people who are our guests, people who are not in the business yet. It's to give you a glimpse, or to give you enough information for you to make a decision to join in this fantastic journey that you're going to start after this meeting. As Alan has said, my name is Pascal Oloo. I am trained as a civil engineer. Betty and I live in South Africa. Originally from Kenya. We've been in South Africa for just, I think, almost 28 years now. And the reason why Betty and I started this business is a very simple reason. It's to make extra money. We wanted to have a better life for our children, our family. When we left Kenya, we left specifically because we were looking for greener pastures. We left Kenya in 1992, went to Lesotho, worked for 3 years, then we came to South Africa in 1995. And when we arrived here, I decided to enroll for a postgraduate course in civil engineering, specifically construction management. And Betty couldn't get a job. Betty is a trained science teacher. And the reason she couldn't get a job is because at that time, South Africa was a bilingual country. You either taught in English or Afrikaans. At that time in Pretoria, there were not very many English-speaking schools. So it was a challenge for Betty to get a job. The other reason is one of our children has got sickle cell, and it required one of us to be a full-time parent. So we wanted to not only to make extra money, but we also wanted to have a lifestyle that would allow both of us to be full-time parents. So we started with the aim of making an extra $200. But after doing the business for 7 months, our income reached $1,000. That's when I decided to really pay attention to the business. So if you're a guest, welcome to this presentation. The mission of our company and our business is very simple: to make the world a healthier and a happier place. And that starts with you. This being a new year, 2023, I would encourage all of you, if you're a guest, make sure you have your own dreams and visions for what you want this year to be. And those of you who are distributors, set your goals and aim to have a better life than you've ever had before. So that's myself and Betty. We started the business just to make an extra $200. We had no idea what this business could do for our lives. It has dramatically changed our lives. It has changed the lives of a lot of people that we've met in the African continent. So we thank God for everything that has happened in our business. I want to share with you a few things that I think is going on around the world, the way people generate income to feed their families. You see, there are 4 ways that people use to generate income. One is called a job, when you work for somebody and at the end of the month, they pay you a salary. A job is good because at least it puts food on the table, but I don't think in the world we live in today, you can have something called a secure job. The next is self-employment. Self-employment is when you start a business, you borrow money, either your life savings or you borrow from the bank or whatever it is. You get some money to start your own business. It's good because you determine how hard you want to work or how long you want to work. The challenge with self-employment is that when you're not there yourself, your business doesn't grow. The third way is people who build big businesses. These are people who put in a lot of capital, they employ a lot of people, and they build a lot of infrastructure to run their businesses. For example, the Safaricom PLC in East Africa, the MTN, the Vodacom, ShopRite Checker is the retail outlet. These are big businesses that spend a lot of money to start and run their businesses. And then there is investment. Investment is when you have cash or money which is over and above what you need for your daily living, and you put it in a vehicle or a business or something or an instrument of negotiable instrument that helps you to generate additional money over and above what you invested. But I'd like to mention a few things about the work situation around the world. I was recently reading a book by Professor Paul Pilzer, is an American economist. In 1985, the vinyl record industry employed about 100,000 people in the US. Within 5 years, the whole of the vinyl industry had disappeared because it was replaced by compact discs, CDs, and all those 100,000 people lost their jobs. In 1990, automakers had employed 300,000 people to design, manufacture, and maintain mechanical carburetors. 5 years later, automakers had designed electronic injectors, which was $25 each, whereas the mechanical carburetors was $300. All those 300,000 people lost their jobs. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you have a job, be aware that your job can become redundant at any time because of the improved technology. Companies are finding more efficient ways to generate income by providing products and services to the public, but using fewer and fewer people. I mean, I come from the civil engineering industry. They're now building houses using 3D printers. And with time, a lot of bricklayers, a lot of plumbers, a lot of electricians will lose their jobs. Why? Because of technology. So I think that it's very important to look at your life very critically and ask yourself, if you stick to this job as the only source of income, what will happen to you in the next 5 years? The other thing I want us to consider is there an ideal business? Is there a business that you can start and build to create wealth for you and your family without having a lot of problems and hassles? I think it needs to have the following criteria. Number one, you need very low capital to start. In our company, you need between $60 and $100 to start a global business. Number two, you need to get involved in distributions of goods and services. I'm very fascinated about business and distribution. In the 1990s, 50% of the cost of a product in the marketplace was distribution costs. Only 50% went to the manufacturing cost. 10 to 15 years later, 80% of the cost of a product are distribution costs. 20% only is a manufacturing cost. Why is that the case? It's because people have found more efficient ways and cheaper ways to manufacture things, but the distribution costs do not go down as fast as the manufacturing cost. So there's a great potential for building and creating wealth in the distribution industry. That is why I think that one of the ideal criteria for building wealth is you need to get involved in distribution of goods and services. The third element is you need to have a global reach. And the reason for that is very simple. You want to capture a huge market. Our company does business in over 50 countries around the world. In Africa, we do business in 14 countries. The fourth element is leverage. Leverage is a very important element in creating wealth because all of us have 24 hours a day. 8 hours, let me say, we spend sleeping or recovering our energies, 3 to 4 hours or traveling, having a meal, spending time with the family, another 2 to 3 hours resting, and the rest you work. If you only depended on your time to create wealth, you'll never be wealthy. You need to cooperate with other people so that you can multiply the amount of time your business is conducting business. And that is what the principle of leverage. It's a very important principle for creating wealth. Number 5 is you need consumable, high-quality products. And the reason for this is simple. Consumable products have a repeat sale. You and I are going to use soap until the day we die. You and I will need something for our skin. You need something in your home to keep using. That's why our company does business in consumable, high-quality products. Then the other element is you need a business system. It's simply a system is a series of tools, procedures, equipment that you need to use to build your business so that you don't have to be there yourself. The reason why companies are able to build businesses worldwide is because they have systems that they use to conduct their business. If you look at banks, if you look at retail stores, if you look at restaurants, they have a business systems that allow them to duplicate the process in different locations. And the last element is timing. Timing is very critical because you need to be able to start your business at the right time so that it gains traction. What is network marketing? Network marketing is the business we're talking about. It is a system of distribution of goods. I think it's the most efficient system of distribution of goods and services because it cuts out a lot of middlemen who do not add value to the product, but add a cost on top of the product. So in our business, we don't have advertising. We advertise the products by word of mouth. There are no retailers or wholesalers. Products are explained to customers directly. So that gives the customers enough educated information so that they can make a decision on, they can make a buying decision. We are paid for referring customers to the products. So although you're in business for yourself, you're not by yourself. Why? Because you're partnering with a company that researches and develops the products, they package, they source the raw materials, they have quality control, they register products in the different markets where they're doing business, they put infrastructure in different countries around the globe, and your job is simply to create a market where these products are used. That's why, although you're in business for yourself, you're not by yourself. And I think this is one of the really unique things about our industry, because the headache of building all these things is taken away from you. Your only job is to create a network of people who use the products. There are no qualifications required to be successful in this business except three things. One is a desire for success, and that comes from having a dream. When you have a dream, you have the desire to have more than you currently have. The second thing is you need to be teachable. Teachability is a very important aspect of this business because sometimes we are very poor judges of how we can succeed. We need somebody else to guide us and tell us what to do so that we can become successful. The third element is you need to work very hard. Hard work, there is no shortcut to it. Neolife started from the dream of one person, Jerry Brasfield. Jerry Brasfield, when he was a teenager, he had very, very serious asthma. And when his mother gave him natural remedies, he felt better. He decided, maybe I should share this idea with the people from he started from a small town called Porterville in California. That's how Neolife was born. 64 years, now it's going 65 years. Neolife is still fresh and new. And the reason why Neolife has lasted all these years is because we believe in certain basic principles. One is absolute honesty and integrity. We believe that it's important to tell our customers the truth about our business and about our products, to treat our people with fairness. So absolute honesty and integrity. Integrity is simply doing the right thing when nobody is watching. The second element is people are number one. The most important resource we have in our business is people. Our customers, staff members, distributors, the general public. The most important element we have in our business is people. Number three is products that work. Neolife has spent considerable amount of money to put together a scientific board whose job is just to research and develop products. We have got the top-notch scientists who advise on the manufacture and the quality of products. They write scientific papers in very famous scientific journals because Neolife simply wants to put the very best in the marketplace. The fourth element is equal opportunity for everybody. I see somebody is very excited, is scratching on the screen, so just give me a moment to remove that. Neolife, equal opportunity for everybody. Everybody starts a business at the same level. Man or woman, young or old, employed or unemployed, whether you are a professional or not, a plumber, a carpenter, a CEO, a bank manager, Anybody can start this business and become successful. And the last element is you need very long-range vision. Okay, there are people who have been in the business for over 40 years, some over 30, some over 20. So when you start the business, the first instance, have a 2 to 5 year horizon. We believe that if you follow the system we teach you, within a 2 to 5 year period, you'll have gained financial freedom. It simply means that if your current source of income stops, you'll be able to support your family through the business. Neolife started in 1958 in the USA. In 1971, it came to South Africa. 96, 97, started in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. In West Africa, I started the year 1999, between 99 and 2000. And if you're a guest, the business has come to your door today. Now, why do people start this business? People start this business for so many different reasons. Betty and I started because we wanted to make extra money. Some people start the business because they want to have good health. Some people start the business because they want a better life for their children. Some start the business because they want to build or buy good homes. Some start the business because they want good cars. Some start the business because they want to have holiday homes. Some start the business because they want to make additional money or extra money, and this extra money can become a lot of money. Some start the business because they want to be physically fit, to enjoy sports. So when you start the business, you're partnering with a company that has more than 60 years of experience, operates in over 50 countries around the globe, and is supported by their scientific board, a group of scientists whose job is just to research and develop first-class products. There are 4 ranges of products in our business. What are the ranges? The first is a cleaning range of products. We call them Golden Home Care range of products. Products for cleaning your bathroom, your kitchen, your toilet, your tiles, anything in your home that you need for cleaning, we've got the products for you. The second one is a personal care range of products. These are things like hair shampoos, hair conditioners, hand and body lotion. The third is a skincare range of products that make your skin look nice, to detoxify and cleanse your skin, to protect your skin from the elements, to invigorate, to moisturize your skin. We've got the best products in the market for you. And then we have the health supplements. Your greatest wealth is your health, because when your health is finished, your mission in life is finished. Now, how does the business work? The business works when we do what we call the 3 daily success habits, the things we need to do every day to grow our business. Number 1 is you need to use the products. You need to use the product for a very simple reason. You're supporting your own business. In any case, whether you join this business or not, you're still going to buy cleaning material. You're still going to buy skincare products. So what we say is this. And by the way, if you go to a retail shop and you buy products from them, I haven't met a retail shop that actually pays you because you bought products from them. That is what I find very fascinating about our business. So use the product. You're supporting your own business, but you're also telling the people you're recommending the products to that you believe in your products. Now, because Neolife operates in different countries around the globe, we use the point value system to measure the business so that we have a standard way of measuring business. 100 PV or point value is about $160 in value. The second thing we do is we share the business opportunity. That simply means we introduce other people to be users and promoters of the products. So if we have 6 people we introduce to the business, plus yourself gives you 7, you've built a 700 PV unit, and that becomes a manager-sized business, and your income is about $45. The next thing is you teach the people you brought into the business to do what you do. That is, they introduce others who introduce others. In this example, the person in the top right corner introduces 2 people who introduce 2 other people, and you build a 700 PV unit, plus the other 6 is 1,300, you become a senior manager, and your income is about $90 a month. The next thing is we teach the people we bring into the business to do or to duplicate what we do. These people also do a 700 PV, 700 times 6 is 4,200, plus your own is 4,003. You become a director in the business. Your income is between $580 and $700 a month. Okay. Now, not everybody is going to join your business. These are the people who become your customers, and you make a net profit from them of 20%. Why? Because they cannot buy directly from the company. They have to buy through somebody who is registered, which in this case is you. The third thing we do in our business is called personal development. Personal development is when you take time to learn about the products, learn about the business, learn how to become a business leader through training, support, personal development materials, CDs, magazines, conferences, conventions, events, and things that you use to make yourself a better business leader. Now, if you want to earn more money in this business, just help enough other people to do what you do. That is to become directors like yourself. If you help one more person to become a director, your income goes to $1,000. If you help 3 people become directors, your income goes to about $2,000. If you help 6 people become directors, your income goes to about $5,000 a month. You reach the president's team member level, and you really begin to enjoy what this business is. So at this juncture, I want to introduce and welcome one of our top world team members from East Africa, from Kenya specifically. Isaac Ndungu he really has a fantastic story. Those of you who are teachers, listen to this testimony with all your ears and your eyes, because Isaac's story is really, really a good story. Isaac, how are you doing?
Yes, very fine, engineer. I am doing well.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So take it away.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm grateful even for the presentation. Your presentation is normally very clear, simple, and well put. Thank you very much for that. And I want to say hi to Africa and Build Africa. I can see people from all over. I have a friend, Ugandans. I have seen some friends from Uganda. We have so many of Kenyans here. I have even seen a friend from Wales, Bula from Malawi, Virginia from Botswana, and many people on this call. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. My name is Isaac Ndungu, and by profession, I am a high school teacher. When I was growing up, I was told to go to school and to work very hard. And I was told that if I worked very hard, I would get very good grades. And if I got very good grades, I would also get a very good job, and that job would take care of me. So when I went to school, I really never joked around with books. I looked at them clearly. And finally, I landed in the university. I was admitted in one of the public universities in Kenya. It is in the western part of the country. It's called Moi University. And I trained as a teacher, supposed to teach English and literature. So when I left university, I started teaching, and I explained the literature books, the ones from West Africa, Things Fall Apart, Outside Africa, An Enemy of the People, and all that. And I did that and for quite a number of years. And in the course of my teaching, I also married. I got a partner, and that is Purity. And so we started now now living together. And I got a transfer. I was teaching in the eastern part of the country, in a place called Meru, and then I transferred to the central part of the country in Muranga, a girls' school called Rocho. And when I started teaching at Rocho, that is when one day my wife tells me that she has been teaching in the university, and she tells me there's a lecturer friend who invited her to have a look at a business. So for me, it was like, there's no problem. You can go and have a look at it. It was a Sunday afternoon. So Purity goes to have a look at this opportunity and comes home in the evening and tells me, There is something I have seen and we are going to do it. Then I ask her, did you understand? Then she tells me, actually, I did not understand, but what we are going to do, we will get in and we will understand along the way, but we start. So we started in that was the nature now of our starting. And it was very interesting. For me, when we started, and when I came to the business, the main reason was actually the finances. I really wanted to find a way I could change the finances, and I could also change the way I was using my life and my time for that matter. So we came in. Apparently, when we came in, the first check was very small. It was only 1,000, that is Kenya shillings, and 361. That is roughly $13. That was really nothing to tell so many people that we have an international business. And I remember a colleague teacher really laughing at me, because of such a small check. So, and it was a bit discouraging, especially now when I had just started, and I was wondering for how long would this now continue? So the person who was training me, I told him that the business was not working, and there were even people that had laughed at me. And he told me, when one person laughs at you, talk to the next person. If the other person is also laughing at you, talk to the other one. Finally, you will find someone who will ask you, where has this business been? So that is what I did. So I continued talking to people as we have been sharing the opportunity. I would talk to people. I still talk to them to date. And the second month, that is in the month of now July, because we joined 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, on 19th of June 2013. So July, the check for July, that was our second month, was 29,531. Roughly, those are $300. That was a lot of money. In fact, if you were in a physical meeting, I would have asked for a clap. Why? Because that money was more than the money I was receiving from the TSC. TSC is the body that employs teachers in Kenya, Teacher Service Commission. My net was far much lower than that. You see, up there, the figure was not bad, actually. But those of us that are employed, you know what happens. You start paying as you want, you pay as you eat, pay as you walk around, pay as you marry. And the deductions are so many. So by the end of the day, the amount I was taking home was far much less than that $300. That was very exciting. That was very exciting. And what I did, I now intensified what I was doing. Apparently, I found that the syllabus, or rather what I was supposed to learn, was as easy as using the product, as the engineer has put it, using the product, sharing this opportunity, and of course, training. And that's all. And I have been repeating that to date. So the check goes there, and I was like, I want now to really intensify in this training. And then my check hit 60,948. Roughly, that is like $600. That was quite exciting. I could now talk to anyone who was around me. I told them there is something that I'm doing and it is working like this. I did not understand much. What I was telling them is to come and actually listen. In my initial stages, or rather when I was growing in the business, as I grew in the business, I'm still growing. What I did was to invite as many people as I could to come and listen. From the people that already had done the business ahead of me and were familiar with the terrain. And let me tell you, it worked well. So now I started getting the benefits, and the check went on. It challenged my gross salary from the government. That was very exciting, because for a long period of time, I had never thought that I could do anything else apart from my employment. And that thing was so serious, I could never imagine myself living without a job, employed. That had been so much entrenched in my mind. So I went on, and my check hit 100,000. That's like a 1,000 US dollars. And things now started changing. I realized now I could afford petrol for our small car easily. And I didn't have to carry a jerrycan in the boot so that I could refuel along the way. I realized things were getting now easier. It was getting more exciting. Then something else happened. I got a chance. I started now developing other people, what our presenter has talked about, duplicating. Because someone told me, regardless of how good I would be in this business, if I'm not duplicating it to someone else, if I'm not showing it to someone else, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how good or how much I know. If it can't be done by someone else in my team, then that one doesn't go far. It is actually boils down to employment. So what happened is that I was able to duplicate myself, and I started talking to other people. Training other people on how they could do this business. And guess what? In the month of in the year 2015, we had a chance to be taken out of this country for the very first time in an airplane, of course, to South Africa in Sun City. It was very exciting to find myself in an airplane and to go there and to spend a number of days at Sun City. Very exciting. And the good thing was, when I actually left for the very first time, I also went with one of my success line, who had also become very successful and had actually joined the world team and was able to travel with me. That was very exciting. So we went there. And when we went there, it is really a wonderful destination. And later on, I started getting now other invitations to go to Mauritius, to be in Cape Town, to go to Abu Dhabi, to go to Dubai. And and the list goes on. In fact, as we talk, I've also been invited to attend a WTM, a World Team Conference in Turkey. That is, will be in Istanbul. And I'm really looking forward to the same in the month of May. That really changed my life, because from my background, for me to get into a plane and to travel those areas, that one is quite exciting. It is quite powerful, and it is quite good. So, and I remember I could go when I would go to places and then come back and sometimes talk to the same members of my staff room and tell them, and they would ask me, does this business work? That time I'm coming from South Africa, and somebody would ask me, does this business work? Sometimes I got a bit angry and I told one of them, no, this business does not work. What happens? I work the business. I am the one who does who do the working. So I told the person like that, and I could see some of them who hadn't believed even when they have seen it. So I decided to participate in my own rescue. I decided that I would help myself, that I would put my life, so to say, in my own hands and actually work on it, of course, trusting in God. And things started actually changing, and I have continued, of course, enjoying the benefits thereof. So I still feel like I'm starting today. Something else that also happened, though I have been in the teaching fraternity, I realized that talking to people outside the classroom was actually very different from the students in uniform. And the business reached a place, and one of the directors that I invited was actually able to touch people in other countries. And this is none other but our upcoming president team member, Grace Chege. And she has been able to do great business in Europe, in America, and beyond. And I realized the potential in this business, that is not a small kiosk and closed somewhere, but it's a business that goes beyond the perimeters or the or the borders that we know of, and it will go and touch in very many areas and in many places. And I thank God also for the great support from the company. And that now, if for example, there is a business starting in Botswana, there is already an office there, and it becomes very easy for Virginia Rotswane to do actually business in Botswana, and though very far, definitely a distance from Kenya. And then the business, as I come to conclusion, has given me time freedom. You know, that element of waking up in the morning and deciding what I want to do. And I'm not expecting a call. I'm not expecting someone to tell me, you have not done this or done the other. You have not attended this class or you have not attended the other class. So I wake up and I have my diary and I already know what I want to do. And it is so encouraging. It is so good when I get a chance to drop my son to school and to pick him from school and I'm still working. You know, it is so encouraging. And the business has helped me to invest. You know, one thing that we did very early in the business, we were able to put up our own home here in Nairobi. And it was so good. It is such a good thing when you stop now just giving out money as rent to other people, and you are able now to actually have a place of your own. And then on top of that, able to actually put up some rental houses. And it's so encouraging. So I want to stop at that this evening. I am grateful for the opportunity. I look forward. I feel like I'm actually just starting this business, and the opportunity is so big. It is bigger than I ever thought. You know, when I was beginning, I never thought it was this big. Today, I know Pascal from South Africa. I know he is my upline there, up there, because he said, yes, one day I am here. And because I said yes, so many other people, you know, have said yes along the way. So I'm so excited that I'm doing business today with Pascal, Engineer Pascal, down there in South Africa. I'm here in Nairobi. We are doing the same business and we are touching so many other lives. Thank you very much, Engineer Pascal, for giving me an opportunity to say hi this evening and to tell part of my story to the audience in the call. Thank you very much, sir, and you can take it away.
Thank you very much, Isaac. I'm always very excited when I hear your story. The guests who are here today, what you need to do is get back to the person who invited you and tell them, I want to start the business yesterday. Because when you hear such a story, I don't see any other reason why you need to be hesitating to do the business. So Isaac, I really appreciate your story. It's always very refreshing for me to hear it again and again. So those of you who are our guests, one of the things the company has done is to make the business efficient for you to build it using online services. For example, if you want to order products, you can order products online. If you want to register new distributors to build your team, you can do it online. Once you get registered in the business, the company creates for you a back office. That is a place where you can refer your prospects and your customers. You can also manage and monitor your business through your back office. Training is done locally and internationally through online. For example, this meeting, as Isaac I was saying, that there are people from Botswana, people from Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, people from across the seas. Because of technology, we are able to do the business through online services. Delivery of products, every market that the company is doing business, they contract local courier companies to deliver products to customers and distributors. Payment of product is done by online transfer. Payment of bonuses and commissions, the company does by electronic funds transfer or mobile money. So the company has made the business very, very efficient. One of the things the company does every year is to get together. For example, in East Africa, the distributors got together to share success. In Dar es Salaam, that's the same meeting. In Southern Africa, we met in Pretoria to share our successes. So every year or every so often, the company and distributors meet to share success, travel in different destinations. As our leader, our team member Isaac was saying, in May, distributors are going to Turkey in Istanbul to share the different cultures, to learn about different people in different areas. And the company puts the bill. So I want to encourage those of you who are guests, make a decision and start in this exciting journey. How do you get started? The first thing is speak to the person who invited you. It's called your sponsor. Then fill in the application form to get registered. The registration amount in South Africa is between 830 and 2,810 Rand. In Kenya is 8,000 or 10,000 Kenya shillings. In Nigeria, 24,500 or 31,500 Naira. In Tanzania is 153,000 or 190,000 Tanzania shillings. In Uganda is 225,000 or 273,000 Uganda shillings. In the USA is $75. Excuse me. In Togo is 43,500 or 58,500 francs CFA. In Italy is 64 euros. In Ghana is 493 or 787 Ghanaian cedis. In Cameroon is 56,000 or 68,000 francs CFA. So this is a various packages that what it costs you to start the business in different markets. Not all the markets are shown here because there are over 50. So go back to the person who invited you. They will guide you in how to get started. But remember one thing, success begins with a decision. That's when success begins. If you don't make a decision, nothing will happen. By the way, if you don't make a decision, you've already made a decision not to become successful. So success begins with a decision and says, yes, I want to start this business. Then there are 4 elements that you need to keep in mind to become successful. The first, you need to know what you want. What is your desire? What is your dream? What are the things that you always wanted to achieve, but you haven't been? Number 2, you need to find out what you need to do and know. That is, you need to be teachable, to learn new things. Most people who start this business start with little or no experience. Number 3 is just sheer hard work, discipline, guts, persistence. Nobody becomes successful without passing through the door of persistence. And persistence requires discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow through. Number 4, faith in yourself, faith in your sponsor, and faith in the company, Neolife. If you have these things going for you, success is yours. What is next for you? The next thing is speak to the person who invited you, sit down with them, write down your dreams and your goals. They'll give you a simple program to follow so that you can become successful in this business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. May God bless you. Good night and God bless.
Good night.
Good night.